Hello everyone, welcome to Theatre Audience Podcast and my Instagram going live at 5. I'm Natalie, in case you haven't joined us before. It's good to see some of my loyal followers are checking in as we speak. And I'll be giving you the news, reviews and interviews of the best online theatre, everything that's going on at the moment during the lockdown. If you want to listen to my podcast, episodes 1 to 20 give you the lowdown on all the best theatre that was going on around London, around the fringes, West End, from September until March, when unfortunately we had the lockdown. And since then, I've been doing my episodes on 22 and 21, and they were on the greatest theatre that you can find digitally. And I'm going to be having a conversation with my friend Darren Lee Murphy shortly, and we'll be talking about what we've been watching this week. It's been great fun doing interval chats with him. And my recent podcast is called Trapped Teaching Theatre, because as most of you know, I've been teaching theatre for about 18 years. And therefore I've combined the podcast with my teaching. So I've created a Trapped Teaching Theatre podcast, and I've enlisted the help of loads of actor friends of mine who are at the National Theatre or the RSC or the West End before everything shut down, and they have recorded some monologues for me, and these monologues have been commented on by them, how they created them as actors and just waving to people as they come in. And I'm really excited about that one, and even better, I've set it as a homework as well for all my GCSE and A-level students, so I should get my numbers up, which is great. So I'm hoping that Darren will be joining me in a minute to have a chat about everything that we're doing. So hello to Tom and to Gary and to Jonathan. So it's good that you're all here. I've just knocked the tripod stand. So Darren, when you're ready, give me a call. I want to say a big happy birthday to Mr. Shakespeare. I have been drinking from my Shakespeare mug today to wish him a very happy birthday, being April the 23rd. Hi Darren, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm very well. I'm just finishing off a little slice of banana cake with some hazelnut chocolate drizzle on top, which my mother baked. I've never had banana cake before in my life, and now everyone went crazy about making banana cakes, so my mother made one, and I have to say, well, actually, she put chocolate chips in it to make it a bit more, but it's gorgeous.
Nice.
Gorgeous. Hi, Gary.
Banana and chocolate. Nice. I like that.
I have to say, it's bloody good.
Well,
Shane doesn't own a coffee shop and make her own, but, you know.
Treating myself to an iced coffee today because the temperature is better than usual. You've got your ladies.
I've got my Earl Grey.
Lovely. Good. So we're sorted. I haven't got any cake, actually. Colin the Caterpillar, that was last week. It was cake week last week. This week seems to be chocolate biscuits and Magnum and Cadbury's cream eggs randomly. You
don't have any Colin left, no?
No.
You devoured Colin.
Devoured Colin over the
Colin
course of last week. Yeah, I think the face is left. I wrapped that in a bit of foil. I thought, when my son comes back tomorrow, he used to like the face of a caterpillar. He's like, yeah, Mum, I'm a teenager. So,
okay.
But anyway, the thought was there, and that's the most important thing. So, Darren, our little theatrical conversation of the week. What have we been seeing this week?
I do look forward to our Thursday chats, actually. Something to look forward to. And then today I've been in the garden lobbing some trees and putting up bushes. Yeah, it's something I haven't done for a while, you know.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Good.
I did a bit of weeding yesterday. I'm not one to normally do gardening, but I did sit there and go, yeah, it's time. And, and it's actually quite therapeutic. And I was like, well, that was my exercise for yesterday. I was doing it was like an odd motion whilst crouching. That was good. I enjoyed that. And the weather's been beautiful today. So.
And it's going to be like this the rest of the week, apparently. So we'll see. But so I do love being in the garden. But because I've been so busy with work, and obviously at the minute I don't have any as such, because all my shows have been cancelled. That I've got some time on my hand, and I'm enjoying the being outside and actually having something to focus on, which is physical. So it's actually a lot easier than because I'm trying to write. I've actually come up with a really cool idea for a possible Netflix series.
Nice.
So I'm developing that. I'm not going to share any details with you because I don't want to jinx it or anything. But as soon as I've sketched out the pilot,
has it got a strong 42-year-old female?
Well, the funny thing is, it's a full-on ensemble female-led piece.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a lot of my writing is very female-orientated anyway. So yeah.
Well, you know where I am. That's my headshot.
Yeah. Do your profiles, do your sides.
My profile. That's my favourite side. Not so favourite, but very different. Very different.
I do miss commercial castings. When you do commercial casting, they say, show us your profile. Like, it makes any sodding difference what the side of your face looks like. I think they only do it so they make sure you got 2 ears, or I don't know, whatever it might be.
Just to check that actually that bit isn't missing or something. I don't know. Could be. It could ruin something. You might have to.
I have 2 hands and I have 2 ears.
All
That's my profiles. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I know. So what did you think of Phantom of the Opera last weekend? Did you enjoy it?
I did, actually. But then, as we said before, I really, really enjoyed Phantom when I saw it live for the first time about 3 years ago, when I took a whole bunch of year 9s to see the show. So, yeah, so really enjoyed it. I thought, it's just beautiful. That was the moment when we were watching it, because I hadn't read up on which version it was or anything.
No, I hadn't either. Yeah.
And as it opened, I was like, where is that? It is vast. The stage is huge. And then I was like, there was this moment, and we were like, Royal Albert Hall. That's the Royal Albert Hall, because you just see that the circular. Just love it. I love it.
I all I knew of was that it was Ramin's production of it, because obviously he was in the West End. And I love Ramin. He's a beautiful man. I've worked with him. He's a lovely guy, very, very handsome. So his wife is a very lucky woman, and he's beautiful, and he's got a great body, an amazing body. He did West End Bears for me.
Stop! I know you've been on isolation for a while. Stop there. Carry on.
I know.
He's talented.
But, he's very talented, yeah, and sexy to book. But what I love as well is that they really enhanced his scar, like his lips and everything was all part of it. Like normally in the West End, I thought it's just, Do
you know what I was wondering though? Because it seemed that in the first half, Act 1, because he doesn't reveal the mask at that point, it seemed that there was a lot less going on. And then in the second act, or the bit when she pulls the mask off, it seemed that they'd bulked it up even more. But it was quite remarkable.
It's almost like someone had punched him just beforehand, and he's like pouring up. But I really enjoyed it. The only thing I had against it was very long, and I don't remember the West End version being. But maybe it was the same. But it felt it could be, snipped back a little bit. But other than that, no, I really enjoyed it.
No,
I mean, really... there was no crashing chandelier, sadly. But
no, there was kind of a wobbling moment.
It just wobbled, didn't it, and just flashed a few lights.
Yeah, it was not the same as when you're sat sort of 5th row of the stalls.
I know, and it just flies above your head.
Spoiler alert, obviously, for anyone who goes to see it in the future. But really loved it. And my favorite moment was when my friend Gareth Snook, he appeared in it. I forgot he was in that version. He was Monsieur whatever, one of the theatre producer director trainers. And he was brilliant. That role so suits him. So he's also in Wise Children, which obviously we mentioned last week, our favourite. Wise Children is live now, so that's people can view that. There's so much on. So Andrew Lloyd Webber, we've had Phantom, we've had Joseph, we've had
this weekend is Love Never Dies.
Yes. Have you seen that?
Yes.
I haven't. So
okay.
My Andrew Lloyd Webber erudition of things I have not yet seen is becoming complete soon.
Have you seen Stephen Ward? No, that's another Andrew Lloyd Webber you missed out on then.
Do you think he'll put that one out there?
I think so. I like Stephen Ward. I thought it was a really good thing. And Alexander.
Hello, Connor.
Hey, Connor. Alexander.
Tom loved it.
Hansen. Alex Hansen, who's the lead in Stephen Ward, was exceptional. But going back to Love Never Dies, Love Never Dies. It's set 20 years in the future, and it's basically
in the future of what, the 80s when it was written, or?
No, it's Victorian times, isn't it? No, and it's good. I don't remember any of the music as such. I think the overture is very much Phantom, but it's it was when it was on the West End. It had Summer Strallen playing the lead.
Oh, okay.
Who's a friend of mine, and I love her. She's great.
She Mary Poppins at the moment.
No, that's Zizi.
Oh, is it? There's a whole
the sister. There's four of them.
The
You've
daughter
got Scarlett,
or the niece
you got Scarlett,
of someone.
Yeah, Scarlett, Summer. Then you got Zizi and Sassy, and they're the niece of Bonnie Langford.
Bonnie Langford, that's it.
Yeah, their mother and Bonnie are sisters. They look exactly the same. When you see them, you're like,
well, all the
it's
sisters.
Bonnie, but it's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So all four sisters. So Scarlett's based in New York now, but she was the Mary Poppins. Actually, it was Laura Michelle Kelly, the original Mary Poppins in the West End, and then then Scarlett took over and moved it to Broadway.
Okay.
And then this time round, Zizi Strallen has taken over the lead role, but she did the tour. So yeah.
Nice.
It's good.
Exciting. So, well, I'm looking forward to that then. Not sure. I can't watch it tomorrow evening, but maybe Saturday might be.
Yeah, I think I've got movie club night tomorrow, so yeah, Saturday could be good.
Saturday could be good. So that's Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I saw Metamorphosis this week.
Oh, okay.
And that is incredible. If you never got to see it at the Royal Opera House, then it's definitely worth catching online. YouTube got it. If you subscribe, or if you just look up the Royal Ballet's pages on YouTube, it's on there. But Metamorphosis, the lead is Edward Watson,
right,
who won the Olivier Award for it.
Yes.
And it's absolutely brilliant. Okay. After Pitzer directed it, it's very worthwhile.
How do we all locate that? Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. But what I love, and what's different from seeing it live, is the camera angles. They do a lot of shooting from above. Now, when you watch it, the staging is quite odd, very minimalistic and very beautiful done. But there's a lot of camera work from above, which you wouldn't see if you're sitting in the audience. Yeah. So there's a lot of interesting, kind of stuff you would capture now that you hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worthwhile.
I do like Metamorphosis. I've seen loads of different productions over the years. That's actually a really good one to recommend for students because it's a great text. So that's worth setting as a homework task.
Yeah, it's definitely worth seeing, and it uses very minimal language. It's about the body and the way the body moves, and his transformation and stuff. And not to give a big spoiler there, but it's very dark. It's a very dark piece, and it's not ballet as such, but it's other. It's dance. So yes, it's good. So I just need to eat a little bit more of my chocolate sauce there.
Yeah, you go ahead. So National Theatre then, it's Thursday. So Thursday, National Theatre Day, and our Insta Live Day. So tonight it is 12th night, which is Tamsin Greig. I've been watching a lot of her recently in Belgravia, and I think I like her comic performances more though. I love her in Friday Night Dinner. I do think she's very good in that. So that'll be an interesting one. So we've had One Man, Two Governors, we've had Jane Eyre, we've had Treasure Island. I didn't get around to seeing that actually, despite Tom recommending it. Didn't he? Yeah. I'm trying to. My brother says he saw it in Hammersmith a few years ago. Okay, cool.
Oh, fair enough. The other thing is Hampstead Theatre. Again, I had tickets for this and I couldn't go because of this whole thing. Is the oh god, what's it called? Hang on.
Oh, they're streaming lots of stuff.
Tiger Country.
Okay.
Tiger Country. Yeah. So want to see that because that's one of the things I missed out on. But it's I just hope that the National. I mean, it's just a shame they can't just put one performance together with no audience and film it.
Yeah.
And then just get them out.
Just a two-hander where they stay off the side of the stage. Yeah.
Or they just act in different rooms and you use Zoom to kind of bring the characters together.
Surely, I mean, I was thinking, don't quote me now, everyone, but I was thinking, surely, for the end of school production, you could just do one scene and pull together different. But if I can create that here, I'm sure that they could create something or scenes from, or they must have, but yeah. So they're doing world cast plays free on YouTube. But what they've announced, and you've got this probably as well, this has just come up in the last 24 hours. They've got Frankenstein coming up soon, which is Danny Boyle, Academy Award-winning director.
But who's
directing Benedict Cumberbatch
and Johnny Lee Miller? But which part? Because they alternated it each night.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
that's all it said, that they alternated each night, but it doesn't say who in which role. So I don't know. Maybe they'll put both out there. Well, I doubt it. But and then they've also got Antony and Cleopatra, and that was the Ralph Fiennes and Sophie Okonedo.
The good thing about seeing Antony and Cleopatra now on screen means you can fast forward the boring bits.
I actually like Antony and Cleopatra quite a lot.
But this production of it was so long. Yeah. And like, there was some
We'll do that one day, Darren. You can produce an abridged court, a bit like Frantic do Othello, Antony and Cleopatra. Let's just kind of make it more just Cleopatra.
Yeah, I can do that. Role. Make it down to an hour. I could turn it into an opera.
Yeah, and I can spend a lot of time in the sun making sure that I look Egyptian. You know, it's all good. Yeah. It's all good just to make sure that I get that part. So that's what's going on with National Theatre. They're also doing like a Monday night quiz night, I saw.
Really? Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, so that's another thought there. And then the Stage has released 50 best stage shows to stream right now. So they've got some conclusive lists, so that's quite good. Anyone who's listening, if you just send us what things you've seen this week, then we can comment on those, because curious to know. I mean, I don't think I've watched, I'm very aware of everything that's going on, but I haven't watched as much theatre this week. I've been involved with putting together the second part of my Trap Teaching Tempest podcast. And also I have been, just getting to grips with online teaching. So I've been back in the day job.
How's that going?
Yeah, going really well, actually. It's predominantly my older classes that I've met. So it was really nice touching base with them, actually, because I hadn't seen them for so long, and just, you know, allaying their panics and worries and fears about, you know, the future, and, you know, because it's also uncertain. We don't know when we're going back. So it's just saying, look, you're not missing your course. We're switching your practical elements to when we see you again, and doing all the kind of written exam stuff, prep, theory, all of that now. So, so RWF Howard says, nothing this week, sadly, but Treasure Island last week.
I want to see it because of, the sets and stuff are supposed to be amazing. So, yeah, we'll do that one. Yeah.
Hello, La Rostas. But yeah, so that's National Theatre, that's the Stage. Now, obviously, hello from Mexico, hi. So obviously it is the Bard's birthday, as we mentioned before. Just a quick plug of my Trapped Teaching The Tempest Theatre in Quarantine series. So the last episode 23, was basically me speaking to loads of my friends who are actors, and there's loads of them and more coming up. So we've got up to the end of Act 2. There's kind of mini plot summaries in there. Then there's some monologues, and then the actors are commenting on how they prepared. So for any drama teachers out there, it's a great online resource, and you can set it as a homework. So that's brilliant. So happy birthday to Shakespeare. And the RSC are going to be streaming 6 shows. They're calling it their box set. And it's a collaboration between the RSC, and it's their Culture in Quarantine series. And they're releasing Macbeth, which had Christopher Eccleston and Niamh Cusack. I saw Niamh in, what was that one at the National? I couldn't remember the name of it last week. My Brilliant Friend. Then they've got Othello, they've got Romeo and Juliet, The Merchant of Venice, Hamlet, and Much Ado. So kind of the big popular ones that people might want to see. So that's all out there. And so what with that and 12th night, the National Theatre, you know, we're all obviously plugging away at the same thing, which is that it's Shakespeare week. And interesting, Tamsin Greig in that 12th night, she's playing Malvolia. So that's quite an interesting spin.
Is it though? Are we not bored of these kind of things now?
I don't
like,
know.
You know, mixed casting and stuff. Like
a woman then dressing in cross garters. It depends. Is this a modern version or not?
I just think sometimes creatively it gets a little bit too like, who cares? Just play it as it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, like.
What I loved about the Henry, the series that they were doing at Sam Want to Make a Playhouse that we talked about before, that my mate Johnny was in playing Henry VI. I think what I liked about that actually was that they did change the gender of certain things, but it just worked. It just worked, and it had modern spin, but yet it wasn't modern. It was just so clever. And I think sometimes people try and do too much, but that was just, it was perfect and beautiful. We love the Sam.
If I went ahead and there was a chance I was doing a Shakespeare in November, which has now been pulled to next year anyway, but I haven't told you which one it is yet. And
no,
I know. Because I want to. But that's going to have an interesting, not so much on the casting choice, but certainly the way it's staged. Although I do want to play around with the main guy in it, and kind of really spruce it up with maybe get a female.
Trying to work out which one.
But there's a few, but it's got a very famous female characters in it where I wouldn't change those because I would get like beaten up for that. But
it might be King Lear then, I reckon.
Yeah, no, it's not King Lear. Although saying that, I have to say, like, I still like get excited by the thoughts I still have of when Glenda Jackson played King Lear at the Old Vic. That was one of the most incredible theatre experiences I've ever had. I mean, as soon as she stepped on that stage, she was there. For any acting students out there, or you know, actors that are new to the game, you go and see an old pro like Glenda Jackson, and the energy this woman, she's in her early 80s, like had, and as the moment she stepped on stage, it wasn't like you work up to there. She was there. She's there,
and it's interesting. I had this similar conversation with Sophie Russell back on Don't Know podcast ages ago. When I did the Richard III, that was at the Sam Want to Make a Playhouse, and she was playing Richard III, and we did have this discussion about those gender roles changing, and she said, you know, that obviously beforehand she was slightly apprehensive because, you know, it's a big role to fill and you're a female, and she said there was this one moment where she walked on stage and this very quite vocal audience, because it's very intimate, isn't it? You know, it's so.
I love the Want to Make
love it.
Beautiful,
we love intimate spaces, don't we?
The little candles underneath you, like.
Yeah, and all the candles is beautiful, and she said there was this moment, this audience member just went, "Oh bloody hell no!" Like when she walked on stage. Oh bloody hell no. And she was like, you can hear it. She couldn't hear what the audience member had said at that point until it was relayed back to her by other cast members, but she heard no. and she said, but she just had to like work harder then at that moment, because, you know, but then she said, do you just step on stage and people believe it and they go with it and that's it? Because we were talking about, I think, like you said about the Glenda Jackson, I think I've seen, it was certainly Richard III. I think she also did a King Lear that I saw. This is years ago. I'm talking 15 years ago. I think it was Catherine Hunter. It was amazing. That was years and years ago. That was in quite an intimate space, but long time ago. But yeah, so these things do work. But yeah, interesting. Watch this space. I think I'll probably dip into that 12th night this week. Because it might be a good one to recommend to students. And then we got Frantic Digital. So, you know, as we all know, I love Frantic Assembly. Hello, Andy. Andy's with us. I love Frantic Assembly. On recent podcast, spoke to Sally Abbott, the writer of I Think We Are Alone, and all my students are using that as their live evaluation of theatre. Luckily, that was their last trip. That was my last big theatre trip with students before the lockdown, but they have released Othello and Love Song and Beautiful Burnout. So
Nice.
Really good. I'm curious to know which beautiful Burnout production they did the recording on, because you'll remember when we spoke about this before, I said that, you know, I loved it the very first time I saw it in Edinburgh, sort of about 10 years ago, and then they brought it to York Hall, so it was properly in a boxing environment on a real boxing ring. So that was really exciting, and it was still on 3 sides. The first time it was completely in the round, which was just brilliant. The whole stage rotated and the punch bag came on a zip wire across the room. It was amazing. And then the last time I saw it, when I actually took students to see it and had bigged it up massively, it was just end on and disappointing. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, obviously if it's filmed, it's going to be up close and personal, and all their trailers of that were always very good. So it'd be interesting to see that. The Othello filmed production, I've seen hundreds of times. I use it as a teaching resource. So, but it's great. And I saw that live. That was at the Lyric, I think.
Yeah.
The Lyric Hammersmith years ago. And then Love Song, I think I saw that several times over the month that it was on at Lyric as well. So Love Song's highly recommended. It's a beautiful play. I'm always doing scene studies from that with A-level students. So yeah, highly recommended. Anything else you've seen, Darren, or plan on?
Not lately, no. But I think next week I'll probably pay a bit more attention to some other stuff that's going to be on theatre. I want to see what else is going on at the Soho Theatre. I fancy a bit of comedy, maybe a bit of cabaret or something. I'm hoping that they put. There's an amazing piece with Sarah Louise. I'm not Kate Bush.
Okay.
And she did it in Edinburgh, and she's going to Soho Theatre. It's supposed to be there at like nowish, which obviously is not going to happen. So that's brilliant. It's so much fun. It's so funny, and she really nails Kate Bush as a character. And she basically does like a narrative of her life through song and stuff. But it's very good. It's very, very good. I'm not Kate Bush. So yeah, definitely see that. But yeah. But there's other bits we'll see. Yeah, definitely.
I think there's loads of live streams, there's quizzes, there's videos, there's lots of theatre stars are on Insta Live. There's still all the other things like West End Brunch and Leave a Light On. These things are all still bubbling away. Loads of the West End stars and Broadway stars are doing their own little pop-up videos now, aren't they, where they all kind of join in. There was one of Chorus Line. I do love Chorus Line. They were doing 1, 2, flick it, and they were all like doing it, and and then they did some outtakes where an animal had like walked across the room and they got kicked, or a child had gone like in front of the screen. So yeah, there's lots of those kind of things going on as well. So it's busy. There's lots more announcements coming out, particularly of shows that are definitely happening November. I think people are going, November.
Yeah, but
but even then, we don't know how.
Is it definitely going November? The thing is, this is like no one knows. Like I know that A Christmas Carol went on sale today for the Old Vic. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, how many people realistically are going to buy a ticket today for that show? I don't see it. I know that some of the West End shows want to open the end of June, and I'm going. I
think it's too early. I mean, I think, you know, shows like Frozen, their date is October 31st. I think they've got loads of people that have pre-booked tickets. It's a bit more realistic, I think.
Again, no, because you've got to bear in mind that the theatre's been rebuilt for that show, and if they're not doing the work,
they've stopped. I know.
Then how's it going to be done? And the thing is, the
Hamilton, Victoria Palace took longer than they thought. Do you remember? And then everything had to get put back, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a travesty if Frozen doesn't go live still for the winter, because that's obviously it's a brilliant Christmas story. But at the same time, I don't see how it's possible, because if they have stopped work, they're rebuilding the theatre. It's not like they're just closing a show and then putting another one in. They've demolished the interior. Yeah. You know what I mean? That like it's completely been transformed.
It's not like the Queen's becoming the Sondheim Theatre. That was just. I mean, that was massive £1 million renovations, but that wasn't like.
No, this is multi-million pound renovations. Andrew Webber's thrown,
hasn't it?
It's millions and millions. Yeah. I mean, he's restoring everything inside that space. And as Tom, sorry, you just said about the tickets, Hello Dolly. When are you going
Yeah, when was that due?
What date are you actually going to be going there? Because again, I know that some of the theatres are talking about having social distance performances where they do 4 weeks. So it gives them a chance to clean the theatre for the next performance and stuff, and have intermittent rows of people. And then,
and staggered.
But at the same time, it's like, and the thing is as well, there's loads of talk. I mean, who knows anything at the minute? I don't think any of us really do. But saying that the younger people will be able to go out and mingle and stuff again because they're less chance of getting seriously ill with the coronavirus. But the 55 plus market is the biggest ticket buyer.
Going demographic, I know.
Absolutely. And the thing is, if we don't get the tourists flying in, then who's going to fill up these houses?
Especially matinees, weekday matinees.
It's horrible. I mean, our industry, but me, I produce work. Like I just don't. I don't know. I have literally written off this year. There's no way I'm producing any shows this year. It's just not going to happen. And then kind of feed stuff in the stuff that I postponed into for next year, subject to availability of course, which is the venues, the performers, the creatives. I mean, but then I might have a bigger pool of creatives because they're desperate to work and there isn't any other work out there. So I just don't know. So I don't know. Oh, Tom said September. In all honesty, Tom, I reckon it's unlikely, but I don't think anyone will really know for sure until mid-May. I think mid-May. They won't do any cancellations yet because they'll have to refund. And if they refund, then they're going to lose money in their pot, which is what they don't want to do.
They need to rehearse as well. They need to, get it rehearsing, and that was dependent upon whether work rehearsal is seen as vital work, etc.
But this is the main travesty of it all. It's like, I don't know how many people who listen to these podcasts, like these chats and stuff, realize the work that goes on behind the scenes in these shows. It's not just a matter of this put some people together and put on a show. These big West End shows, they rehearse for possibly up to 3 months, 2 months at least beforehand, with dance calls and music calls and all this kind of stuff. And so that means if the show opens in September, they're working on it from June.
Yeah, so the biggest shows
it's not going to happen.
The biggest shows that are already established are more likely because they have already got sets in play. It just needs all the work that goes into re-rehearsing things and a tech and that side of things. But but the other thing is as well, you've got to think about the fact that there's a bunch of actors out there who have got contracts on big shows that were due to run out June. Now I don't know how that works. Do you then get put back, or were people cast, or have new castings already happened and there's people ready to start July? It's very difficult.
I know for a fact that Anne Juliet, where they were supposed to close in October, they've now extended to January because of the time that's different. So I reckon any of the big shows that were meant to be going on and on, like the Les Mis and stuff of this world, will just start again whenever they need to. I think like we already know that, say, 9 to 5 has shut now because when they did go back, it's gone. Going in its place was Sunday in the Park with George.
I know, I was looking forward to that.
But the thing is, again, because you've got a massive star like Jake Gyllenhaal going in, it's like if he's available for those 4 months, which he's meant to be in the play, and no more, it won't happen.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to bring in another actor to do it. It might not happen for another year because these actors have they have schedules. Like I'm really gutted because I wanted to see Jessica Chastain, on stage. I love her. I think she's one of the most amazing actresses. I love her thrillers. Like Miss Sloane is an amazing film. And I'm absolutely gutted that she's no longer going to be here because, again, it'd be based on schedules. As part of the Jamie Lloyd season at the Playhouse.
I had tickets for both of those on this scheme for my A-level students. So they were really looking forward to that. And also alongside that, there was actually a whole bunch of workshops and things that were planned. And there was literally, I think tomorrow, actually it was going to be tomorrow, I had a jolly. Mind you, I'm not at school now anyway, but I'm obviously working on the computer and doing online lessons. But we were going, me and my sixth formers, for the afternoon. We were off to the Playhouse Theatre and we were doing workshops around the seagull tomorrow. Sadly, we're not now. I was really looking forward to that. I was like, yeah, I'll have a couple of side conversations with the actors.
Is that Amelia Clark seagull?
Yeah, that was part of that. The whole Jamie Lloyd company was, he had this whole scheme going for young people, and particularly for you know, people who haven't been to the theatre that frequently, and you know, all the group like Chicken Shed and some disability groups as well. So there was loads of special ticket schemes and things that they were doing, which I'm sure they will do again next year with the next lot of productions. But
it's
really
odd
looking forward to it,
because a lot of this stuff won't happen now. That's what's so sad. And
the other thing
it's
as
the
well
space of schedules,
you know, is that the knock-on effect, obviously, from an educator's perspective, is quite big as well. Like currently, you know, my students for their end of year exam, however that may be now, the format, are working on a production that we saw. There are a lot of drama teachers who may have taken them to see something back in November as a practice, but for their actual exam, they were maybe planning on going at the end of March because it was just the right time before their exam, so that it's 2 months. You can still remember the production that you've seen in detail, but you know, it's long enough to think it through and talk it through with your teachers and stuff. So some people won't have seen any live theatre, and then normally, you know, we start taking kids on trips in September from the offset, so that they've got reference points for things that we do in lessons. And it's like, well, will there be theatre to see then? You know, we'll be doing a lot of this. Well, they'll have seen everything in the online book because I'll have been setting it for homeworks and discussion points in online lessons and stuff. But it is really, really odd, and not being able to know, you know, what's going on with that. We can't even say, Darren, October, come and judge my house drama competition.
I know, I would have missed out this year.
It may be that, you know, we can't have an audience sat in our little theatre yet, or for a while. So that might have to just move. Hello, Paolo Haynes. Yeah, so yes, difficult times. Jonathan, would you consider producing anything for an online stream format, Darren?
You need to elaborate a bit more about that. I'm up for producing pretty much anything if it inspires me and turns me on enough, really. It's how I work as a producer. I get inspired by talent, writers, directors, and then if I feel that I can offer something, because it's a collaboration, I'm not just someone who raises money, finds venues and books talent. I'm part of the creative process. And if I can't offer anything creatively, then I don't get involved in the project. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of opportunities from what we're going through now. We just need to like really kind of find them. Stop focusing on the negative stuff and focus on, you know, the good things that are coming out of this.
Like me, it's been, you know, it's been really, really odd, particularly as a drama teacher, because the one thing you really want these kids to do is interact with each other. And, you know, for some year groups, we can't have the cameras turned on for safeguarding. For others, we can. But even then, you're at, you know, if everything crashes, you know, or if someone's audio isn't working, you know, you're at the whim. But it does mean we're having to like create and be creative and go, what have you done? Oh, okay, that's worked in that subject. Well, let's see if we can do that, and getting ideas from drama teachers in America who are doing other things because they've been doing it for like 3 weeks longer, so they're kind of in the zone. And now as well, it's like working out what to do with my year 11s that would have been on study leave revising for exams, but that's kind of not going to happen now. So we're kind of starting courses early, but kind of elements of it, and I'm like, oh, I don't have to use the syllabus, I'm free, I can be creative. So we're going to do some little radio plays, and we're going to do some monologue work, and I'm going to get some actors involved to do some monologues and commentaries that aren't Shakespeare. So it's actually quite liberating, even though there's restrictions. So
yeah,
quite interesting. So there's a lot going on and a lot coming up. Just a quick plug from me before we go. do listen to episode 1 to 20 of Theatre Audience Podcast. You can find me on all the podcast platforms and Spotify and on Apple iPlayer. And we've had actors on such as, I don't know where you went. We've had.
I know, it's just like playing the buttons. Yeah, I'm like a kid, buttons, press, like.
We've had actors on such as Lauren Ward, who was nominated for an Olivier, and Dear Evan Hansen, Aaron Blair Mangat, who was in Anne Juliet, Mark Holden in Pretty Woman, Kirsty Hoyles, who's in Mamma Mia, Alice Fern, Come From Away, Rachel Tucker, Come From Away, and Pirate Queen, Jonathan Broadbent, amazing Shakespearean actor, and other things, Sam Wanamaker Playhouse. So loads and loads of brilliant actors. So just listen to all those interviews. There's about 3 per episode, and there's 20 episodes, so that's something to keep you going. Tom loves to listen to them on his dog walk, which is great. And I couldn't sleep the other night, so I put it on. I lost my tempest when I was like,
Leon, what Dog the Bounty Hunter? What's that?
What is this? No
Need
idea.
to elaborate a bit more. No idea what that is.
No idea, but keep saying it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was lovely to chat to you, Darren.
Yeah, you too, darling.
Great to celebrate Shakespeare's birthday with you, with your banana. Did you finish your cake? Is that
No,
what
I've got I got a little sliver left.
Enjoy. So right, tonight, very important. It's 8 o'clock. We need to do our applause for the NHS. So that's the biggest applause of the week, I think, because I tend not to applaud. Oh no, I did actually. When we watched Jesus Christ Superstar after that, I was like, yes, well done, bravo. It's quite funny. But they did put an intermission on the Phantom one. It was actual intermission, which was useful. Although I think we ended up staggering it over 2 days, didn't we, in the end, because it was quite long. But good. All right then, my love. Take care.
I'll speak to you in a bit.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So thank you all for listening. Oh, Musical Theatre Review has just joined, and I was just about to end, but I'm just going to plug once again so that I can edit it and put it onto my new YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the new YouTube channel. I think I've got about 5 followers so far. Really enjoy your time, be positive, have fun, and watch lots of theatre online. And I'll keep you up to date on my Instagram and my Facebook with what's going on and the latest press releases as I receive them.